Have you ever noticed that the moment someone yawns, you suddenly feel like yawning too? It happens in classrooms, offices, and even while watching videos online. The strange part is that scientists still don't completely agree on why we yawn. Is it because we're tired? Do we need more oxygen? Or is something much more fascinating happening inside our brains? Today, we'll uncover the surprising science behind one of the most common and mysterious things your body does every single day. To understand why we yawn, we first need to know what a yawn actually is. A yawn is an automatic reflex that usually begins with a deep breath in. Your mouth opens wide, your jaw stretches, your lungs fill with air, and then you slowly breathe out. The entire process only lasts a few seconds, but it involves dozens of muscles working together without you even thinking about it. Most people yawn between 5 and 20 times a day. Babies yawn before they are even born, and many animals, including dogs, cats, chimpanzees, birds, and even some fish, have been observed yawning as well. That tells scientists something important. Yawning is incredibly ancient. It didn't appear by accident. Evolution has preserved this behavior for millions of years, which strongly suggests that it serves an important biological purpose, even if researchers are still debating exactly what that purpose is. Open a long time, people believed yawning happened because the body needed more oxygen. The idea seemed logical. When you're tired, your breathing slows down, so a deep yawn must bring in extra oxygen and remove excess carbon dioxide. It was taught in schools for decades and became one of the most widely accepted explanations. However, modern research tells a different story. Scientists tested this idea by asking volunteers to breathe air with extra oxygen, and in other experiments, air containing more carbon dioxide. If the oxygen theory were correct, yawning should have changed dramatically. Surprisingly, it didn't. People yawned almost the same amount regardless of the air they were breathing. That discovery challenged one of the oldest explanations and forced researchers to search for a completely different answer. Sometimes, the most obvious explanation turns out not to be the correct one. One of the most convincing explanations is known as the brain cooling theory. Your brain works best within a very narrow temperature range. Just like a computer can slow down when it overheats, your brain also becomes less efficient if it gets too warm. Some scientists believe that a yawn acts like a natural cooling system. When you yawn, you take in a deep breath of cooler air while stretching your jaw and facial muscles. This movement may increase blood flow around the head and help transfer heat away from the brain. Although the cooling effect is small, even a tiny drop in brain temperature could improve alertness. This idea also explains why people often yawn when they feel sleepy, bored, or mentally exhausted, times when the brain may be less alert and could benefit from a quick reset. While the brain cooling theory is still being studied, it currently has more scientific support than the old oxygen explanation. There's another mystery that makes yawning even more fascinating: contagious yawning. Have you ever started yawning just because you saw someone else yawn? Maybe it happened while watching a movie, sitting in class, or even reading about yawning right now. This strange behavior isn't limited to humans. Chimpanzees, wolves, dogs, and a few other highly social animals have also been observed catching yawns from one another. Scientists think contagious yawning may be connected to empathy and social bonding. Brain imaging studies suggest that areas involved in understanding other people's emotions become active when we see someone yawn. In other words, your brain may be unconsciously copying another person's behavior as a way of strengthening social connections. Not everyone experiences contagious yawning equally, but the fact that it exists hints that yawning may be more than just a physical reflex. It could also be part of how social brains communicate. Even after centuries of research, yawning remains one of the body's most intriguing mysteries. Scientists agree that yawning is a real biological function, but they don't agree on a single explanation. Instead, it's possible that yawning serves several purposes at once. It may help regulate brain temperature, increase alertness during transitions between sleep and wakefulness, stretch muscles after long periods of inactivity, and even strengthen social bonds through contagious yawning. This is a good reminder that the human body is far more complex than it appears. Some everyday actions, like blinking or breathing, are well understood. Others, like yawning, continue to surprise researchers despite modern technology. So the next time you catch yourself yawning, or notice someone else's yawn triggering your own, you'll know you're witnessing a behavior that has been shaped by millions of years of evolution and is still revealing new secrets to science. So, why do we yawn? The honest answer is that scientists are still putting the pieces together. The old idea that yawning simply brings more oxygen into the body has largely been replaced by newer theories, especially the idea that yawning may help cool the brain and keep it working efficiently. At the same time, contagious yawning suggests that this simple reflex may also play a role in empathy and social connection. It's amazing to think that something you probably do every day can still puzzle researchers around the world. Sometimes, the most ordinary parts of life hide the greatest scientific mysteries. And here's one final question for you. Did you yawn at any point while watching this video? If you did, your brain may have just demonstrated one of its oldest and most fascinating behaviors. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode of Human Body Explained.